Alright, and welcome to the 24th video in the series of Copperplate Majuscules. This is for the letter X. Today I have a Nico G nib in a speedball holder, so a super lightweight plastic holder with acrylic ink inside my nib. I've explained a lot about acrylic ink and nibs before, and the sort of things that you need to be aware of. If you're interested in knowing what ink to use with what nib, then go and have a look at my previous videos. I do use a lot of G nibs. So, right, so a capital X, I think I've only ever had to do maybe once. So I've had a few commissions in other languages. And that's where I've come across more. I've got so much skipping going on. Jesus. Right, I'll put that back in. So an X is normally done in one stroke. I'm doing it in about 25, but there we go. So you can see an X is normally done in one stroke. I do tend to stop at this halfway point, both to make sure that I'm at the halfway point and to give myself a little bit of a breather, because I need to evaluate where I need to go. Let me just clean my nib off really quickly here. I have explained before, but acrylic ink is such that you need to clean it off, and you need to clean it off thoroughly. So I'm suspicious that it started to harden before I started writing, otherwise I wouldn't have got so many skipping issues. But never mind, we're here now. Oh heck, I haven't even thought about, should I do it in purple? Feeling like purple today. Right. Okay. So a capital X right here, you've obviously got, where am I at? That is at 1.5 times my X height. I think I'm still in frame there. Yes, I am. So it means that it crosses over exactly halfway in between my limits for my majuscule. I use the ratio of 2, 1, 2. So just make sure if you're using 1.5 to 1 instead of 2 to 1, that you're still crossing over at the overall halfway point. The key thing about the X is that if you're doing it in this format, I have seen people that do a terminus dot here and then basically do a C on this side, which is absolutely fine, no problem. I do like the fluidity of looking like it's made from one stroke. I do really like that. So my X's look like this, but it is totally optional basically. So if I put right here just a quick little note saying that, so you can a terminus dot here. Okay, so you can put a terminus here. The important thing for an X is that from the middle point, that obviously this width is the same as this width, so that on either side of the letter you're extending an equal amount left as you are right. And if you rotate your paper, you should be getting you know, the same shape basically. So you should be able to view it from either way. So it may be worth taking a photo with your phone and rotating it, having a look. But I think every time I do it, I get closer and closer to just being able to eyeball it. But if I go a long time without any practice, then that'll obviously fall out the window. So you've also got a contained space in here, which needs to mirror the contained space in here. So these two areas, if I put a thing here. See the wobbliest line I've ever seen, but never mind. So if I put echo the negative, I think I've got space there. Yeah, echo the negative spaces. So these should be roughly equal, should cross at the halfway point, and these should be equal, like I've just said. One key thing about it, which is actually really hard to do, is that the downstroke, see now I don't know where to put it. I'll put it over here. This is quite possibly the most important. The downstroke is on the left. So that doesn't mean that you do a downstroke on the right hand side. You don't do a downstroke on the right half at all. That is all hairline. So the left hand side, so if I put LHS, that's left hand side, has, how much space have I got? I think I've got enough space to write downstroke there. Has downstroke. No downstroke on right hand side. Okay, that is the most important bit, because if you double that up, then you're going to get far too thick a middle. The middle section, so wherever these cross, so it should be about your middle third. Mine's about there, give or take. That's all right. So if I push this a little bit that way, aha, gives me more sneaky room over here. So middle section is 1 downstroke wide only. Okay, so you can't double up that middle section. I have seen it where people are, if they're doing the other variation, so if I do it in, I mean, I could just do it in ink, basically. Hold on, let me move this a little bit. Every time I think I've got enough space, I start doing a video and I'm like, oh, haven't left enough space. In fact, I'll just do it in monoline, so it'll be quicker. Did remember to bring my black pen as well, so I would like some brownie points for that, with God, probably. Okay, so if I'm doing a capital X in the other way, so I've got my bit there, and I can put a terminus dot right here. I can then do my whatever here. If you're doing this way, and you can put another terminus dot here if you want to, or you can flourish wherever. I have seen it where people put a horizontal crossbar through the middle. It's just a complete variation. I don't see a need for it. But for me, I don't think it's necessary for my writing. If it looks right with your writing, then by all means. But total variation. So this, obviously, this bit right here. So if I go back to my colored pen, this will become your entry stroke to your next letter. So that needs to be parallel to this stroke right here. So we should be able to cover. Oh, I bought post-its as well. I've done so good today. Normally I'm scrambling to sort of find things that can help me, but if I have a look right here, so I'm just looking at the bottom section, I should be seeing 2 parallel scoops, basically, with 2 parallel lines leading off. But that will become my entry stroke. So it's not really common to see flourishing here because it will impact the rest of your word. Flourishing normally happens on this left hand side, or you can continue this should you need to. X's are so rare in majuscule form that I think there aren't many examples online of how to flourish an X, but it's sort of the same deal if you just take the basic rules. So same deal here, I'm trying to get as much space on the right as I've got on the left. I've got a contained oval that's on the slant line, that's also on the slant line. If I cut off, hold on, just bring my round ones, which are not very helpful, but never mind. So I should have equal amounts of gap across my letter if I cut off half of it. And there is space equal here, similar to how I did in a Q. So there's a parallel to be drawn here, and also on that side, I suppose, if needed, but this is the priority. Okay, I think that is honestly about it for an X. I wouldn't change the depth of it for the same reason of a W or a U, where it will impact on the obviously it'll make your middle section much longer, it'll screw up the amounts of negative space that you're trying to mirror, and it'll just be less clean to read. So I would keep this on the same depth, so however far you're dropping these down. But I think that's about it for an X. Like I said, there's not a lot of examples online of how to flourish, but apply the rules that we've gone through and I think you should be more than fine. Have a good day.